Boom! What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another beautiful day. Actually, it's kind of foggy today, but that doesn't matter. Hope you guys are also having a wonderful day as well. But in today's video, we are going to be wrapping taillights, but more specifically tint. So today I want to teach you guys how to tint taillights. It is very simple, very fun, very easy to do, something you guys can do by yourself. The things you will need, and you could get most of it off of Amazon or even in your local places depending on who sells it. But first off, you need tint. This is, I think, like 40% taillight tint. And so right now it looks a little gray, but it's actually black. It's just because it has a white background. Then you want a cleaning cloth as well as cleaning sprays to make sure that the taillights are clean as possible. Now, these taillights used to be wrapped a much darker black, just like my car over here. And then when I had to get the light inspection done, I had to take it off, so that's why we're redoing it. And we're actually going a shade lighter to kind of match the car a little bit better. But that being said, guys, it's very simple, very fun, easy to do by yourself. All you're going to need is 1 or 2 rolls, depending on how big the taillights are and how many you're going to do. For me, I'm just doing the 2 rear taillights and just these side markers right here. Very simple, very easy to do. So that being said, let me grab a few things and then we'll jump right into it. Alright, so now we're pretty much all set up. The only other two things you're going to need is an X-Acto knife to make clean and precise cuts on this, as well as a squeegee to properly lay down the taillight. And the last and final tool, which you absolutely do need, is a heat gun. You could do it with a hairdryer, but it just doesn't work as well. I definitely recommend having a heat gun because it works way better and it looks a lot better and it wraps a lot easier. But if you absolutely have to, you can use a hairdryer. Just make sure it is warmed up enough to heat up and make this pliable. But that being said, guys, all we need to do is the first step is to clean, and then we'll begin wrapping. So let me jump right into that. Alright, guys, so first things first, you want to take the wrap and heat it up like so with the heat gun. Kind of get it just soft, and that way it'll put on the first time a little bit easier. Make sure none of the things stick to each other. Keep it as open as possible. And then I usually like to start at the top. Kind of just depends on the shape of the taillight, because every taillight is a different shape, and some will be easier than others. The Porsche's taillights are a little tricky, but nowhere near as tricky as my other cars, which took me definitely a lot longer and a lot more work to get done properly. Luckily, this one is pretty simple, but still, as far as it goes, the curve makes it a little tricky to work with here. Just want to heat that back up, and just gonna pull it tight. And as you notice, it just applies really nicely like so. Beautiful, look at that. This applies so wonderful. I want to go back, heat up the edges so it sticks down like so. Boom, and then you get that nice clean look. Beautiful. So once again, as I like to say, I am once again not a professional, by no means, so this is more just a hobby. If you want this done to be perfect every time, you definitely want to go into a professional shop and have them do it. They only charge around $100 or so, I think, for taillights and stuff like that. But if you are comfortable doing it yourself, it's actually really simple, and it's a great way to change the look of a car while saving money. Plus it makes the car look way better in my opinion. Just gonna heat up. That's, again, this is the most important tool, is the heat gun. You want to make sure you have that because it allows for the best wrapping you could do. So I'm gonna quickly change the There we go. So just working it around. I always struggle because I can never get it perfect every single time, and that's okay. I'm not looking for it to be perfect. I just want it to look good. So if it's a little off, that's totally fine by me. I don't mind having it just slightly off. Doesn't bother me at all. So again, just continue to heat up and lay it down like so. Now that is pretty good right there. There we go. Just press it in. Boom, just like that. Some of these bumps that you see here, they will come out. This is breathable tint, so it allows any air bubbles underneath to come out. So I don't really worry about them too much, but you don't want anything too big because that can screw it up. Once again, just heating it up and just pressing it down. It is very, very simple to do this. Just like that. You pretty much just did the entire tail light. There we go. So like right here, if you look, it's sticking up. I'm going to go ahead and take my X-Acto knife and make a little incision right here so it stops pulling and will actually stick down much easier. Always continue to keep it warm. And then once you get it pretty much on all the way, I like to tuck underneath the edges to keep it from peeling back up. Like that. There we go. Boom. All right. So now that we've pretty much completed the tint on the light, now it's time to cut the edges and tuck them down, and then we're pretty much done with the tail light. It's that simple, and it changes the look in a huge way. So now, what I like to do is, you always want to be careful. You don't want to scratch the paint. And you don't want to cut too short on here, so you want to make sure you leave enough space. But I like to be very careful and just cut about 2 centimeters above the taillight line, pretty much running it right along the edge. And that will give for a very clean, very nice look. Boom, just going to run that along the edge, because this will also be tucked down and underneath, so it actually holds really well, but you never want to push it too hard, because then otherwise you're not going to get it's not going to stick very well. There you go. And here, just pulling along the line, and done. So ultimately I can peel that off. Boom. So now I come back once again with my squeegee and the heat gun. They go along the edges while I tuck it underneath. That ensures that it will stay down and won't come up. Plus it looks way nicer because you don't have any edges hanging over or anything that looks shitty. This will make it look really, really nice. And then sometimes I even get a smaller squeegee for tight areas like this where you need a lot of detail, some small to get in there, which I just have it sitting somewhere else at the moment. There you go, and this is great because it's not permanent. You could peel this off if you don't like it, or after say 6 months, you can peel it off and change it or do something else, or whatever you want to do. That is what I love about vinyl tint. And that was the reason I either plasti dip or wrap my cars, because it doesn't it lasts, but it's not permanent, and you can change it at any point. Plus, it's a lot more cost affordable. Last thing I do is I then heat up the actual tail light all over to make sure it kind of holds the shape, as well as pushing it out just to get any little bumps and air pockets that might be still in there. Because I do have a little bit, but not too bad. There you go. That is how you wrap a tail light. Here we are. Now you can see the before and after. So this is what it looks like afterwards. Nice, clean, much darker. This is what it looks like from further away. And then here's what you can look like before. It looks really bright. I mean, it has a lot of color, but it just looks so much more aggressive on the car being tinted like this. It fits the car, it makes it look way better. And that's why, in my opinion, it's such a great thing to do, and I highly recommend it. So you can see right there what the difference is. But now, pretty much, it's that simple to do the entire thing for headlights, stuff like that. So pretty much now that you've seen how I did the one, you're gonna do that for all tail lights and any other lights you want to do. Very simple. It does take a little bit of time sometimes, especially if you're a beginner. Again, I'm not a professional, but I've done it many times, so I know to an extent what I'm doing. But sometimes even I make mistakes, and it takes me longer to do it. But that being said, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe. I've been getting so many support lately, and we just hit 100 subscribers, and so now we should actually start growing a lot more, since that first 100 is usually the hardest. But that being said, guys, be sure to please continue to support, like, and subscribe. Go also follow me on TikTok, because we're almost about to hit 10,000 followers on TikTok, and we are growing every day. But that being said, guys, hope you guys have a wonderful day. I will see you guys next time. Be sure to be you, and peace out.